Team colours in sport, much like in football, determine the team's identity, where they've come from, their history, and the passion that the fans have for it. Within that comes the liveries. Here is our top 10 liveries of all time. This is View from the Field.
Hello and welcome to a very special start of our kind of top 10 series of things that we're going to do when there's no races. Today's liveries. Sorry, I forgot. Even after your intro, I forgot what we were doing. We're doing liveries.
Yeah, and there is going to be, on that, there's going to be a little bit of contradiction, because if you see one of our previous episodes, we have brought up that one-off liveries annoy us.
We're going to stop them from being pretty, though.
Quite, and that's why they're in this list. Thank you, Phil. For it was as if we set that up.
Yeah.
They are annoying because they go away from everything that we've touched on, but does not mean they're not beautiful. So there might be one or two in this list. Before we get going today, again, just another one for those interested in getting some free stuff. So you may have heard about our collaboration with DT Collects over on Whatnot. There is a sale going on, a giveaway going on Singapore Sunday, which is Sunday the 5th of October. In the build up to that, we are giving you the opportunity to win not just this little Lego Speed Champions, the McLaren one. We'll just put that one in front.
Put this on. No, let me be up front for once. There we go.
So you have the opportunity to win these, both of them, and we will arrange shipping to get to you no matter where in the world you are, unless we're not allowed in your airspace. The where you do...
That escalated quickly.
Well, that took a turn.
The way you do that is if you comment on any of our videos, either this one, the Monza Grand Prix review from last week, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix from next week, and whatever we do in between Azerbaijan and Singapore, probably another one of these top 10s, but whatever we do in between the two, comment on that video saying Singapore Sunday. Please, if you can share, like, subscribe to the channel, everything you can do. Obviously, the support is much appreciated, but to get in your chance to win the Lego Speed Champions, the McLaren and the Ferrari, just simply comment Singapore Sunday. We will do a draw for the Singapore Grand Prix and we will contact the winner and arrange the details.
One thing we will say as well is one car doesn't fit all. So just because you know how to build the McLaren, the Ferrari is completely different. It's what we've learned.
We've learned that.
Anyway.
Also, the Singapore Sunday, sorry, Phil, the Singapore Sunday giveaway does continue. If you go live to Dave's Whatnot on the evening of Sunday, the 5th of October, there will be another opportunity to win some great prizes from Dave. And also, if you're in the hunt, if you're looking for these trading cards, we've got a Nigel Mansell, we've got a numbered Luke Browning, which is quite a special one. We've got some McLaren stuff, some Ferrari stuff. If you're in the chase, you're after one particular team or one particular driver or a legend or a track or a logo, whatever it might be, check out Dave on Whatnot, because he will be doing the live pack openings. And obviously, if you pick a McLaren spot, you win everything that you unwraps that could be McLaren. I know he actually mentioned the other day he got a numbered Piastri, which is quite a big.
He'll be number one next year.
No, it's not a one of one. Oh. He will be number one. Phil doesn't get it. He got a numbered Piastri. I don't know what it is of what, but he got a numbered Piastri. So he is getting some absolute big hitters in those packs. So if you're interested in those trading cards, get over to Whatnot. Go check out DT Collects and get involved. Now,
I will start this with a very brief overview of liveries. What the colour of the car is. No, the thing is, liveries are Marmite, aren't they? You love it or you hate it, and it depends on what your allegiance is, what memories you have towards that. These are our choices. Now, please join in if you hate or like. I'm all for the comments. But these are picked by us, not picked by Autosport saying this is their favourite livery. This is our choices. Just wanted to get that clear in case anyone says, Phil, you're an idiot. That's hideous. I know we'll try and explain a little bit, not in too much detail because we don't want to bore you, but as to why these mean something or why these are special.
Yeah, and let's be honest, it's what you like in it. So I think we'll have a couple where we'll cross over, but we might have them in different positions. Yeah. So I was going to say, where do you want to start? It's quite obvious where do you want to start.
Number 10, shall we?
Let's start in at number 10. 10. For me, I've gone for a little bit of nostalgia. So you might notice as you go through this list that you might see that there's some that probably count to our age and might show you how our age. So for me, it's the 1998 Stewart. Now, it was a weird team when this came about because obviously it was Jackie Stewart's involvement, and he made sure that everybody knew it was Jackie Stewart's involvement because there's tartan everywhere. But what I really liked about this is there was a Tyrrell a few years before, but we weren't necessarily used to seeing white cars. And arguably, we're still not because of all the carbon fibre these days. Even the Haas isn't white.
Yeah.
The Racing Bulls is covered in whatever, in red and blue and yellow and whatever. But like it was just white with tartan down it and the HSBC. And it was just, for me, it's a memory that. Terrible car. Absolutely horrible car. I remember Rubens Barrichello being in it, Johnny Herbert being in it. It was a terrible car in the late 90s. And it
was Magnussen's dad not in it?
Yeah, possibly could have been. The name rings a bell actually now you said it. But it wasn't a good car to drive. I don't even. It scored minor points and bought beautiful car.
Very pretty car. I've gone, no surprise for me to pick, the last successful Ferrari. The 2007 Ferrari. There was something about how there were so many bits and pieces on the 2007 cars, weren't there? They became spaceships. There was too much.
I nearly had the 2007 McLaren in here for the same reason. Yeah. It just looked.
It was too much wing, but Ferrari just had that glistening red. Even the Marlboro looked quite cool on the side of it. I'm not advertising cigarettes for any form of. But, everything looked right about that car. It was just, it was basic. It was the last basic one. So that's my 10.
Was a beautiful car. In at number 9. For me, again, this is going to go back to a time when I really was when I was getting older and I was really starting to get into Formula One. So for me, it's the 2000 Jaguar. It was the return of the British Racing Green, and it was how they had the white outline of the Jaguar, like on the.
Oh, it looked good
on the air intake. Phenomenal looking car, and it was the British Racing Green. Now, people will be telling me that Aston Martin have got the British Racing Green now. When we discussed this earlier, the nicest one had too many flashes of pink, so it automatically means it's not allowed in this list.
Not to say we don't love it, by the way.
Yeah, but it was the Jaguar just brought it back, and similar to Aston Martin, it was that British heritage. It's a British car company with a British Racing Green. The Jaguar on there for me, and just a beautiful looking car. And again, it was HSBC. I am not advertising HSBC.
No, we don't even have a bank account with them. I don't think.
I don't have a bank account.
Okay.
On that note,
in comes the first of the special edition ones. The 2023 Williams from Silverstone with the big Union Jack on the back for the 800 races. It just works, doesn't it? Williams always seem to get it right with liveries.
And I'm just glancing down at my list. I've got
it
written down in front of me. There is quite a few mentions of Williams in this list, I think, from both of us. The bottom line is that might hark back to the Britishness of us.
And we love Williams, though.
And there's such nice cars. But that one, that with the Union Jack on the back in white, it was such a nice car. It was a really nice car. Fair play to Williams for that. And and we did say we disagree with special edition cars, but they will be in this list because they
still look pretty.
Their existence does not make them not beautiful.
That's one that just shouldn't have been the special edition. That should have been the livery for the gear. But there we go. Moving on.
In number 8, for me is the 1991 Jordan. Now, specifically with 2 bits on it. Obviously, it has to have the 7-Up logo because that points towards it 100%. And it has to have the number 32 on the front. It has to be Shoeies. I don't know why. Any other variant of it just doesn't look right. I was actually looking for an image on Google to put on this, and I saw somewhere obviously people had made kit cars of it basically and whatever else, and they put their own number on and just removing the 32. There's more of that to come because there's another one that is a similar.
It's another one that was striking in its simplicity. That's why it was such a beautiful car to me. Is it didn't have too much on it, but it had enough to kind of stand out from the crowd and go, look, I'm dead pretty me.
And it's difficult as well because I'm trying not to pick, my 2 so far, the Jaguar and the Stuart before that, not successful cars whatsoever. This is probably the first one I've picked that does have, showed Michael. It wasn't the greatest car, but it did show what Michael could do. And maybe that harps back to a little bit of
a legend.
The memory, it's the first car of a legend, but I just think it's a beautiful striking livery. So the 91 Jordan is in for me number 8.
Okay, considering I'm the one who usually rants most about special edition liveries.
Here's another
one. Red Bulls from this year in Japan, the 2025 Red Bull. There was something about them going from that very plain blue and yellow to this white and striking kind of metallic red.
Well, they did it before a couple of years ago, didn't they, the white?
They did, but I feel like they got it wrong compared to this one. This one just looked decent. And it was Tsunoda's first race for the team as well. we'll move on from that. But yeah, such a very pretty car. It just made everything look very simple, and yeah, white and red works on it.
Yeah, well, it goes back to what we said about Stuart before.
Yeah,
having just a white car, it looks striking. Next up, in at number 7.
Cheers, Len.
We've got the I've got the 1996 Williams, the Rothmans livery on the side of it. Now, again, this is extra special because you've got to put in Damon Hill's helmet, because I actually thought Damon Hill's helmet matched the car. I know Damon Hill's like a really dark blue, almost a black with the white things to match his dad's. I don't know why that helmet matches that car.
Do you know what it was with Damon's as well? Was he had those little red flicks, you know, on the struts from the nose cone down to the wing. He had the little red to determine the two cars, and for some reason that little bit of colour.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a beautiful and
it's another one that launched.
Livery,
another one that launched a British legend. Like again, and this is what we said about with the age thing. For us, this harks back to a time when our dad was taking us to Silverstone, and our mum was taking us to Silverstone. It's like watching Damon Hill in that car, and obviously then go on to win the World Championship, and it reminds you of the Murray Walker.
You can hear it.
Yeah, we can hear Murray Walker with that. I'm going to have to stop now because there's a frog in my throat. Like you can hear all that, and that car just for me, beautiful car, but it also brings back all the memories. So in at number 7, the 96 Williams.
Yeah, I'm going to say one that's not going to surprise anyone until I determine which one I'm saying. It's the black and gold Lotus. Oh, everyone, let's be shocked. But it's the 2012 version. And I don't know other than the link to Kimi maybe, but I don't know why this one stands out so much. I just think it was an ugly car that looked beautiful because of the livery. It had the Roman nose that kind of looked down. And
I mean, I remember because I was at the Australian Grand Prix in 2012, and I remember looking at it and thinking, God, that's beautiful. And sometimes teams will do a nod back to a previous livery
and get it wrong.
And get it horribly wrong. Ferrari, I hope you're listening. They will do a nod. No, they got it wrong.
No, they got it wrong with the HP.
Yeah.
Other than that.
But they got it wrong.
It was right, okay.
But sometimes a team will do a nod back to a previous livery that is their heritage and all the rest of it. And that is what Lotus did with that 2012 car. It was.
And they got it right, which is, yeah.
Next up for me, in at number 6.
I'm glad we're not doing this like a bingo call.
What would 6 be?
A pickup stakes? I don't know.
Is it like a duck or something? Is that 2? That's 2, isn't it? Anyway, in at number 6, to show that I am not against Ferrari in its entirety, nor am I against Ferrari special liveries in Monza. My number 6 is one they did 2 years ago when it worked. So this one, if you remember, was the first time that we saw the old school Ferrari font, if you like, with the top of the F that went right across all the letters, the proper font that you recognise when you see the Ferrari name. So that was on the rear wing. You had quite a fair bit of black, and the rear of the car, just before the rear wing, there was a black patch, and then the numbers were in yellow. There was a lot of yellow.
The Modena yellow.
Yeah, Modena yellow. Sorry, I do apologise. Yeah. And there was a lot of Modena yellow splashed all over it, and it was just so beautiful. Like it was far better than for me, far better than what Ferrari had done previously and have done recently. And we've mentioned before that Ferrari sponsorship, they always seem to go for a team that their colours don't match Ferrari's.
Ferrari were better when they didn't have big sponsors.
What, Marlboro?
The biggest of the sponsors, but yeah. I agree with you. And the nice nod to that was it was the Le Mans car colours as well. Yeah, it was the hypercar colours and the yellow stripe. And they all work.
That was and it's no bias, but that was the nicest Ferrari. And it's not, we're not, because I'm not a Ferrari fan. It was the nicest Ferrari they've done.
Step forward, a challenger. For my number 6, the 1975 Ferrari that we tried to copy this year, but stuck a massive HP badge on the side and ruined it. Niki Lauda's Ferrari 312T.
What's really
preferably before the massive airbox. I was
just about to say that you've just taken the words out of my mouth. What makes this livery even better, similar to the Lotus that you had on the last one, is when a livery makes a horribly designed car look good. Then it's a good livery, and that's what this Ferrari is.
It was in its simplicity. It was Ferrari to a T. It was, we read, here's a bit of white. Oh, and here's an Italian flag. And Niki Lauda's name written on it in that beautiful...
Ignore the fact that it looked like a 50s Hoover. But
it did, but at the start of the season, it didn't have that huge airbox, and it looked stunning. Anyway, but there's my number 6.
Nice car. In at number 5. Thunderbirds, I go. Did they start at 5?
Yeah, because it was that little yellow Wasn't that
submarine.
5?
Was that 5?
Was that 4?
That's
5 was a spaceship.
Yeah. 5
Anyway,
was
moving
the
on.
green one. In at number 5, the Thunderbirds green one. That was a lovely livery. No. In at number 5, I've got the, speaking of green, I've got the 2024 McLaren. So this is the one that they did at Monaco. The specific one is a nod to Ayrton Senna, which was the green, blue, with a bit of black, because obviously the carbon fiber. But that was the one downside to it, I will say that. And that's probably why it's not higher up in the list. It was the green, yellow, and blue, of course, for the Brazilian flag for Ayrton Senna. It was just too much carbon fiber on it again. If you look on the picture that we've actually got on the screen now, there's where Lando Norris's number 4 is on the picture we've used. That's black for the carbon fiber. It doesn't need to be black. Should have been blue, yeah, or green or something. But other than that,
stunningly,
the car was beautiful.
Stand it out as well, which again is what you want from your livery, and I'm sure most sponsors want from the livery as well, is for it to jump out and go, look at me on the track.
Genuinely was one of them cars that it was a shame they didn't win that race. I know they came second, but it was just a shame they didn't win that race. Leclerc did.
I was going to say not particularly.
Yeah, quite. I know. Phil's not going to agree, but yeah. So that's my number 5. Your number 5?
My number 5 is the ultimate artwork car in my eyes. The 2006 Toro Rosso. Everything about that just looked cool. They wanted to come in as this young, funky kind of version of like the junior team of Red Bull, and they had that huge graffitied bull down the side and nothing else.
Yeah.
There was no sponsorship other than it saying Red Bull on it. It was beautiful to look at.
The good thing that Toro Rosso, and then when they became AlphaTauri, and then when they became Racing Bulls even to a degree, they just always beat Red Bull with livery, don't they?
Yes.
And it feels like that was the first one, but it's like every year they just do nicer cars. It's like Red Bull have got to stick to the corporate, the sister team, under whatever guys can do what it was. That's a really nice car. Shame it was awful.
Yeah. We'll go with awful. I thought I'd argue that, then I realised actually no, it was terrible, but looked great and sounded amazing. Yeah, still had the V10.
Yeah, we're 10s then. Anyway, in at number 4 for me is the 1976 Lotus, the John Player Special. We had the nod to it that Lotus did in 2012 earlier, but this now I'm going to contradict myself a little bit. Because obviously I wasn't alive in 1976. You don't be cheeky, you.
Yeah, we're looking at you.
Yeah, you. I wasn't alive in 1976. So I don't actually remember seeing this car when it was released or whatever. And even if they did releases and whatever else in 1976, they certainly didn't do the nonsense like the F1 show, F1 75 reveal, which we will not talk about unless they do it again. But this car was just, every time you look at it, it was a dominant car anyway. But every time you look at it, no matter what image you use, I could have put an image of this in the gravel and it would have still looked beautiful.
You'd have looked at it and gone, "Oh God, that looks so good, broke down."
Yeah, and it was just and it was just such a beautiful car. Just the simplicity of it was just simply everything's black, and then all the writing gold, and then there's a gold stripe. It was just so simple, but beautiful car.
Absolutely stunning car. Genuinely, I can't disagree with you at all. In fact, it probably should have made my list. It probably should be higher up, but we'll explain why it doesn't, and bear with us.
Before we go on to the next one, because I know what this is. So this is Phil's number 4. This is my number 3. So we'll talk about it together because you don't hear us talk about the same car. So in at number 4 for Phil and 3 for me.
The 1997 Jordan. Bitten and hisses down the side. I mean, it looked better when it wasn't allowed the sponsorship that it was built for.
Do you know? And Jordan had this spell. So there'll be people out there going, but what about the
Buzzing Hornets.
Buzzing Hornets. Was it Bitten Heroes? Was Bitten Heroes the shark?
Yeah.
So in 1997, you had the Bitten and Hisses, which was the snake at the front. I'll try and find these images as well so we can see them. In 1998, you had Buzzing Hornets, I think. Someone correct me if I'm the wrong way around here.
I think you're right.
In 1998, you had Buzzing Hornets, which was a Hornet, obviously, at the front of the car. And in 99, again, correct me if I'm wrong on this, it might be the other way around. You had Bitten Heroes, which was a shark. Now, the shark looked terrible on the nose cone. I remember this. The shark didn't look great.
The Hornet looked great.
The Hornet looked great.
But the best is the snake down the side. And the fact that it said Bitten and Hisses and it was play on everything, it was, I'm that yellow.
Yeah.
It just stood out and said, look at us. And with Eddie Jordan, God rest his soul and everything, it fit his personality. It was this larger than life, come look at me, I'm running the show. Even if it wasn't particularly the best car, everyone wanted to be pictured with that one. Yeah. And that is a strong livery.
And one thing I really like about it as well is the originality from, whether it was Jordan who thought about it or whether it was Benson and Edges at the time who thought about it, the originality just to say, McLaren did something, they weren't allowed West, so they replaced West with drivers' names. Now, that doesn't make you think I want to go and buy cigarettes. Well, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't be encouraging this.
No,
but the fact that
you shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't. But the fact that it was bitten and hisses, the 90s was different. Everyone wanted you to. The fact that it was bitten and hisses, or bitten heroes, or buzzing horn, whatever it was, you knew what it was. And I always thought that was so clever, and it was beautiful. And the fact that the snake's fangs were what. That's why the snake one beats the hornet and the shark.
Just fangs going down the struts to the front wing.
It was the best.
And the tongue lifting up the side. Beautiful.
Beautiful car. So the Jordan, that's number 4 for Phil. It's number 3 for me. So on to your number 3.
My number 3 is, I was alive for this. I didn't really pay any attention to it, but it's something that's grown on me massively. And before you say it, I will explain the car and then we'll discuss it. It's the 1986 Benetton. Now, yes, it looks like multicolored ectoplasm going down the back of the car, but there is something about that car that just says, I'm going fast. And I don't know why.
So far on this, maybe because it's got to go faster stripes in it. Somewhere, part of this, on this list, we've agreed with each other so far.
I like green as well, don't forget.
I'm just not a massive fan of this car.
I just think, in terms of art, that's...
I feel like it was designed by a 4... Look, it's Phil's list. I feel like it was designed by a 4-year-old. I'm not a fan of this one. When he sent it me
beautiful
in the prep for this, I thought, that's
and on certain tracks as well, they had multicolored walls on the tyres to replicate the ectoplasm.
Is it going for like the United Colours of Benetton?
Yes,
is that why
that was the whole point? But anyway, it's a beautiful car. I don't care what Anthony says. I'm right. Moving on. See, though it's an opinion show, I don't care what you think.
And that's the point of this list. So, before we get on to our top 2, because ironically, our top 2 are the exact same, but they flip. I'm just going to have a couple of special nods that I think want to go in here. Number 1 is, do you remember in 2005 at Monaco when Red Bull were advertising the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith film?
Yes.
The car wasn't great, if I'm honest. It just said Star Wars on the side pod. It wasn't any really different to what. But it just, for some reason, just that simply and nothing else. And then when you add it on to the fact that the Lollipop Man, because it was lollipops then, not thingies, the Lollipop Man was just as Darth Vader.
Oh,
and all the pit crew were stormtroopers. And it was... yes to that. So a special shout out to Red Bull in 2005.
Red Bull have done some great film ones though, because there was the Superman one, if you remember Coulthard in the Cape on the podium, and there was also the 007 one at Silverstone when
Christian Horner jumped into
wearing just a cape,
didn't he?
And he asked you what flavour cereal is,
and thus it began. And the other one I've got to mention is because it was never allowed, and it was such a shame because I was such a fan of these double liveries. In 1999, BAR, who would later go on to become Honda, who would of course later go on to become Mercedes, they had dual sponsorships. It was British American Race, and then dual sponsorship. They had Lucky Strike sponsoring them, and they had 555. 555, if you remember, is famous for the Subaru rally car,
which we all know and love as a livery.
So they sponsored BAR, and the intention was that they'd have one car would be the Lucky Strike logo, so red and white, and the other one would be the 555, blue and yellow. They weren't allowed. As they released the cars to the world and said, "This is our team, this is our driver lineup, this is our cars for next season." And the FIA went, "No, they've got to match." So to get around it cleverly, it was just half and half. And
with a zip.
And it was the best thing about it was they didn't try to blend. It was half and half. I thought it was class. It doesn't make this list, but it just, when we started talking about this, the BAR was one of the first things that popped in my mind, and I just thought, I've got to mention it. Great car. Terrible car, sorry, but great livery.
It's usually a sponsor that makes a livery, especially in modern day F1. So quick shout out to any Gulf livery is usually beautiful. Yeah. You know, we've had the McLarens, we've had the Williams, and the kind of, for me, the company that made liveries cool for the first time was Martini.
Yes.
Again, drinking is bad. But you know, you look at the Brabham that was labelled as Martini Racing in the white or the red that they had with those stripes up, and the Williams that came back with it later on.
Even the latter Williams,
absolutely stunning to look at, and I don't know why. So if anyone knows why, but they inspire memories, don't they? And I'm using that to build up to your number 2, which is my number 1, because it's what inspires.
Now this is where it's interesting. So we're not going to do any sort of build up because we can't. Because my number 2 is Phil's number 1, and Phil's number.
So we'll discuss them together.
My number 1. So we're just going to discuss them together. So which one do you want to do first?
We'll do your number 2,
okay.
And I'll say this is my winner, by the way.
In at number 2 for me, and it's number 1 for Phil, is the 1988 McLaren, famous, of course, around the world for Senna's dominance within it.
And the white and red. And the simplicity.
And the simplicity and the fact that it was Marlboro. Just everything about it is iconic. The minute I said 1988, Eric, any Formula One fans out there just went, that's when Ant was born. No, realistically, you went, that's the McLaren, that's the Senna McLaren. And you know it. And we've seen so many concept cars of like the newer McLaren. And for me, it's stunning. I'll give him my reason it's not number one in a minute.
Everything works on that car.
It does. Even the fact that Senna's helmet was such a contrast, but it still worked.
I know, you almost look at Prost and go, it's nice, but yeah, that yellow helmet on that white and red,
didn't match at all, but it worked.
Perfection.
The reason it's not number one, for me, is because now this is personal. This is why it's this list. This is why it's our opinion. What's number one for me, but is number two for Phil, brings back memories. And this is nostalgia for me. So for number one for me and number two for Phil, drum roll, is the 1992 Williams. Specifically, again, like we said with the 91 Jordan earlier, specifically with the red 5 on the front. If it doesn't have the red 5, doesn't count, it's lies. It has to have the red 5.
I really like Patrese.
No, me too.
You know I did.
No, it's nothing against Patrese. It's just it's the iconic livery is the red 5 because it's famous for the red 5. And again, diehard Formula One fans or old school Formula One fans have heard me say the red 5 before I even put an image up of this car. You know exactly which one I'm talking about.
And we're not talking about the one before it. No, the 92 one was right. They got the yellow right. They got the blue right.
The camel.
Even the camel looked cool.
It shouldn't work, but it does. Now, the reason this is number one for me and it's not number two, and this might very well be why it's the same for Phil, you'll notice that there's a 4-year age gap between those two cars. There's a 4-year age gap between me and Phil. 1992 was the first time I actually remember going to Silverstone. We had an argument about this earlier that it might have been 91 was the first time we actually went, but the first time I actually have any memory of it.
Dad, comment on this, will you?
Yeah, Dad, tell us. Come on. Yeah, Dad. I mean, we could bring him, but, just give us a comment on it. 92 was the first one I remember, and I don't really remember the car on track particularly, but what I do remember is seeing the model of it in the toy shops. And when you're that age, 25, you want toys.
I say, we still walk past now and go,
No, when you're 4 years old, obviously what you want is toys. And I just remember it being like pictures of it everywhere around Silverstone, and it was just stunning. And I genuinely feel like that is what, just the look of that car is genuinely what got me firstly into Formula One, and then it's everything else after that. So stunning car, that 92 Williams. So yeah. So very quickly, brief run through our lists. Ninth in the top 10 for me. So 10th is a 98 Stewart, 9th is a 2000 Jaguar, 8th is a 91 Jordan, the 7-up one, 7th is a 96 Williams, 6th is the 2003 Monza special for the Ferrari. 2005 is fifth is the 2024 Monaco Special Edition, the Senna version of the McLaren. In 4 is a John Player special of the 1976 Lotus. Number 3 is the 97 Jordan with the bitten and hisses. And number 2 is the 1988 McLaren. And number 1 is that Red 5 1992 Williams. Yours?
Mine. Number 10, we've got the 2007 Ferrari, the last successful one that McLaren liked so much they tried to copy. 9th, the Silverstone edition of the 23 Williams. 8, we've got the Japan version of this year's Red Bull, the 25 Red Bull. Controversially, I went with the 2012 Lotus E20. Son's cigarette sponsors, because cigarettes are bad. Number 6, we've got Lauda's 1975 Ferrari. It has to be Lauda's.
Yep.
Number 5, the Toro Rosso STR1 2006. Beautiful. Number 4 is the bitten and hisses Jordan. Number 3 is the Benetton that Anthony dislikes, and I still think has a lot of different coloured ectoplasm going down the back of it. Number 2 is the Williams, for reasons we've just said. And number 1 is the greatest livery for the greatest driver.
Yes, agreed. So that is it for the episode. Before we do shoot, though, we have a small matter of Ant versus Phil. The scoreline after Monza is 7-4 for me. The loser's forfeit, if everybody doesn't remember, is that the loser will have to don one hell of a Tom Selleck style tash, or the best we can do for 2 episodes, which will probably be
the last
whatever
2
we do after Abu Dhabi.
We'll mix it in with Movember.
Yeah, unless it's won by that point.
Yeah.
So we are into Azerbaijan.
Mm-hmm.
You won last time, so I'm going to go first.
Go on then.
And I'm going to go bold. Oh wait, no, I can't. Who did I have in Monza?
Hamilton. We did the Ferrari
special. I'm going to go bold.
Go on.
He's going to do it again.
Max.
Max. I think whatever they did in Monza, and I know the teams have got a chance to react, but I don't think McLaren will react. I don't think they see the point. They'll still be happy with a second, third again. I don't think Ferrari can react. I don't think they've got it in them to, and I think there's too much of a no. What I mean is with concentration on 26, I don't think they can react enough, and then it wipes out everybody else. That simple adjustment that we saw it at Silverstone in practice, that in qualifying, a simple adjustment that Red Bull do with that rear wing just gives them so much speed. He was so dominant in Monza, and Azerbaijan is very similar with that one ridiculous long straight. So I'm going to go Max Verstappen.
I'm going Charles Leclerc.
We're not picking it's the second week in a row we're not picking a McLaren, and you've often called it formless.
I picked Charles last week. I can't pick Charles.
You can't.
Oh, rubbish.
Why don't you go for the other Ferrari?
In fact, yeah, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'm going Lewis.
Okay.
I've got a feeling that Ferrari was the only car that couldn't be overtaken when people had DRS open behind him in Monza.
That's fine.
I think there's a good car under there.
Whether or not you can qualify.
There's a good car under
I agree. It's just whether or not you can qualify.
I'm going to end up with a Tash anyway, so I might as well pick someone I like.
Okay, so that is it for Ant versus Phil for next week. So going into Azerbaijan, Ant goes Max Verstappen, Phil, I forgot what I got, and Phil goes Lewis Hamilton. Just on that note, just before we wrap up for the day, again, check into Dave's Whatnot to any trading card needs. I'll put my teeth back in and try that again. If there's anyone that you're specifically hunting, any team, any track, any logo, anything like that, check out Dave's Whatnot. You can get yourself a steal. I got a numbered Luke Brown in the F2 Stars of Tomorrow pack, and it cost me £2. So you might get an absolute steal for nothing at all. Also, if you want to win yourself a Lego Speed Champions McLaren and a Lego Speed Champions Ferrari, just comment on this video, the Italy video, the Azerbaijan video, or whatever we do in between Azerbaijan and Singapore, saying Singapore Sunday, and you automatically enter the draw. Anybody want to share the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, please do so. Any support's greatly appreciated. And thank you as well to you all for making Monza our most viewed video. We are nearly up at the 300 view mark as we record this. So thank you so much for the support. Keep sticking with us. We hope you like the content. And if you don't, comment. Also, between Azerbaijan and Singapore, we'll probably do another one of these. So let us know in the comments if there's anything specifically you want us to do a top 10 on. We'll stress it's our opinion and we don't get the data from anywhere else. It's just what we think.
Barring the pictures.
Barring the pictures. Anything else you want to finish on?
Nope.
Sound. That was easy. So we will see you next week for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Come on, Max. It feels weird. See you later, guys. Bye now.